Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you guys are having an amazing Tuesday. Please bear with me as I do not have all of my equipment with me. But today we are going to be talking about a federal indictment of sitting Mayor LaToya Cantrell. So stick around as we lay out the details, assess the fallout, and explore what this means for public trust and government integrity. Welcome to Nelly Miranda. Okay, so on August 15th, a federal grand jury indicted New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell on 18 counts, including conspiracy, wire fraud, obstruction of justice, and making false declarations before a grand jury. She is accused of conspiring with her former bodyguard, ex-NOPD officer Jeffrey Vappy, to conceal their intimate relationship while exploiting city funds to finance over $70,000 of travel and expenses. Like, okay, Fonnie Willis II. So investigators say that they exchanged more than 15,000 WhatsApp text messages, and including ones to intimidate staff, delete evidence, and mislead federal investigators. The pair allegedly met at a city-owned apartment and jetted off on luxurious out-of-state and international trips to Scotland, UAE, California, wineries, Martha's Vineyards, all under the guise of official business or protective duty. This marks the first time in New Orleans' 307-year history that a sitting mayor has been federally indicted. And so this Black woman clearly said, I would like to make history, and this is the way that I'm going to go about it. Like, you cannot make this stuff up. Black fatigue is at an all-time high. Democrat fatigue follows right after. Anyways, please make sure you like and subscribe as it really helps support the channel. Now, let's jump back in. Take a look at this news coverage from Fox 8.
And today's indictment outlines a betrayal of that trust by Mayor Cantrell and Mr. Vappy.
FBI agent Jonathan Tapp investigated New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell and her former bodyguard, then senior police officer Jeffrey Vappy, for years. On Friday, Tapp stood with two colleagues from the FBI and acting U.S. Attorney Michael Simpson, proclaiming the investigation a duty to the city.
But the FBI is committed to the people of New Orleans and Louisiana to methodically address every element of an investigation. And that's exactly what we did here.
Simpson agreed with Tapp, saying he's not concerned with Cantrell and Vappy's personal relationship, but rather that he says they benefited from taxpayer money.
It's irrelevant that it's romance or that it's female. What is relevant is that it is an incredible breach of the public trust.
Despite Cantrell and Vappy's past frequent and vehement denials of a personal relationship, Simpson says the case against them is strong. In the 18-count indictment, prosecutors say Vappy lied to federal agents and Cantrell lied to the grand jury. The feds also say Cantrell attempted to obscure and obstruct the investigation. In the past, Cantrell has said allegations against her were politically motivated. Cantrell's office says her attorney, Eddie Castang, is reviewing the indictment. Vappy's attorney, Harry Rosenberg, didn't answer a phone call request for comment. The U.S. Attorney's Office says the investigation into Vappy and Cantrell is ongoing.
The FBI has a duty and obligation to investigate and work with the U.S. Attorney's Office and our partners to hold individuals accountable who put their interests ahead of those they've sworn to serve. No one is above the law.
Well, let's break down the charges and the timeline. So she has 6 counts of wire fraud, 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, 1 count of obstruction of justice, 1 count of conspiracy to obstruct justice, and 2 counts of false declarations before a grand jury. Their alleged scheme began around October 2021, and that is when their romantic relationship began. So the warning signs appeared early. In April 2022, a text warned, quote, "It is a felony to have your lover be paid to work and have his travel paid for by the city." Well, by 2022, The pair were using encrypted WhatsApp messages to coordinate and then deleting them. That's classic obstruction tactics. This culminated in the indictment earlier this month, still 5 months before Cantrell's term ends in January 2026. See, this is more than a personal scandal. It's a flagrant betrayal of taxpayers. Public office isn't a vacation or a dating ground. It is your job to serve citizens, not schedule vineyard getaways on taxpayer dime. When I see encrypted messages being deleted, a bodyguard clocked in while off duty, and public funds dodged just like that, like, it's not just unethical, it is a systemic breakdown of government accountability. This echoes Louisiana's unfortunate legacy of political corruption, ranging from Ray Nagin to Edwin Edwards. Regardless of race or party, no one is above the law. Watch this clip so you can get a better idea of how she even got here.
A lifelong New Orleans resident who does not want to be identified says she thinks the mayor should not resign.
She's the first black female mayor here. I don't think it's right, but she's just been indicted. So, yeah, she needs to finish out her term here.
See, that is identity politics at its finest. She's the first black mayor here, so I don't think it's right. Wait, what? So to me, it sounds like she is totally okay with Cantrell's gross misuse of taxpayer funds, so as long as she gets to finish her term. Like, yeah. I would not want to be shown on camera saying stupid stuff like that either. But here's another constituent who appears to have more sense. Watch.
13-year resident Jonathan Resin says he thinks Cantrell will stick it out for the rest of her term, even though he doesn't agree with her leadership.
Very disappointed. It kind of breaks my heart because it's somebody we're supposed to trust. And, you know, if she did that, what else did she do? She had the credit card thing going in when she was on city council, and here she is doing something else. Come on, red flags?
The mayor has not spoken about the indictment, but the city of New Orleans issued a statement Friday that said it's aware of the indictment and the mayor's attorney is reviewing the document. Resin says this is a wake-up call for the city.
Let's start with leadership. Let's improve there and, you know, find people that really want to enhance the city and bring it forward and not dig in and fill their pocket.
Way more sensible. Identity politics is not the way. Wrong is wrong, and I do not believe she should get to finish her term. The political fallout is significant. An indicted mayor weeks before a new mayoral race shakes confidence in City Hall. All that remains is 5 months in office, and already reforms and ethics is already at the forefront of the upcoming campaigns. This case reinforces why we need to push for stronger checks and accountability, transparent procurement and expense oversight, and nonpartisan ethics investigations. Because if we do not hold our local leaders accountable, what hope is there at the national level? But watch this clip from a month ago of Cantrell speaking about being a black woman facing political persecution. Because, you know, never wrong, always victim.
We're in a climate that wants to tear mayors down, and black ones, and black women especially, and have taken our mayors out.
She says it almost happened to her when a recall petition attempted to unseat her after she was reelected with 65% of the vote.
And I can look at some of my sister mayors that did the job, but that were taken out. And it doesn't, and I was one of them, but the fact of the matter is they didn't take me out. But they tried.
Cantrell did not address any of the controversies dogging her second term, such as her time spent in a city-owned apartment with former NOPD bodyguard Jeffrey Vappy, her frequent international travel funded by taxpayers, or her administration reneging on a public school funding agreement. New Orleans voters will head to the polls in October to pick a new leader, and Cantrell warned them to be wary against candidates hoping to take credit for her successes, or worse, to undo her administration's 8 years of policy.
Because we're doing the work, and then here comes somebody else who may not look like you because you didn't lay it all out. You know, but we have to ensure and make sure that, you know, we have to support local leadership.
She thanked the audience for applauding her as New Orleans' first woman mayor, but said ongoing support is crucial.
But it's about the support as you move through, because I'm telling you, it goes from celebration to crucifixion real fast.
Despite declining all Fox 8 interview requests this year, Cantrell told voters to keep holding their leaders accountable.
But it's doing the job. That's what it's about.
Ooh-wee, because, how dare we all question a Black woman? How dare we question her ethics? Because life is hard enough. Oh, my word, I can't. Wrong is wrong for Blacks, whites, purple, pink, and unicorns. Going forward in this case, I hope justice is swift and transparent, and that there is a full forensic audit on Cantrell's travel and expense records. We need to continue to have open dialogue about standards because corruption isn't partisan, and no one wins when government trust erodes. But most importantly, politicians need to quit wasting taxpayer dollars. Any politician that is caught stealing from the American people deserves to lose their positions and be forced to pay that money back. Because people work way too hard for their money, and then the IRS comes and jacks it, and then you have the nerve to misuse it for personal gain. You should be in prison. New Orleans isn't alone, but this case speaks to the urgency of prioritizing character over charisma. And as voters, it is our duty to demand transparency and hold leaders to a higher standard. Elected officials serve at our pleasure, and when they misuse power, it is our job to call foul and press for swift consequences. So, do you think Mayor LaToya Cantrell should resign immediately or wait until the legal process plays out? And do you believe corruption like this is more common at the local level than the national level? Why or why not? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And as always, if honest commentary brings you value, please make sure you like and subscribe, as it really helps support the channel. And tap the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.